romantic relationships, I feel like, for me personally, in my belief, are the pinnacle of change for people, right? Because if we think about it, aside from God, let's take our relationship with God and pretend like it never existed. Like let's put it aside and like let's say God never existed, right? And we just had like that's just how it was. Like God never existed. I feel like romantic relationships would be the most important relationships on earth if God never existed. It's just the closeness of it. The word I'm looking for is running away right now. But intimacy, that was the word. It's the intimacy in the relationship, right? That makes people feel loved, cared for, and seen. It makes women go crazy, makes gents go wild. It breaks families, and then the two people are back together, and no one understands. But it's so common. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm just imagining why I just told you that, it would be the number one relationship if God didn't exist. But obviously, with God in the picture, that like Jesus, bro, like Jesus, man, Jesus, your best friend, man, Jesus, your father, man, Jesus, your mother. Jesus can play the role of a mother. Trust me. Either way. So, I'm getting so many trains of thought. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. But romantic relationships are a very, 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 very strong tool for change, right? I feel like a lot of people, they understand. If you've been in a relationship, you understand that you and your spouse or you and your partner start being so much alike, right? In a way, like you guys influence each other on so many things. Now, that's it, like the importance. I cannot stress the importance of you guys influencing each other on some positive stuff, because that is gonna be beautiful. It's either gonna build or break you, right? And I feel like as the most important relationship is your relationship with God. And as we now understand that if the relationship with God didn't exist, the next best relationship would be with a partner, right? That would be the next best. So understanding that it's God, then partner, and understanding that we are living in a broken world. Ultimately, we're going to want to lean towards what we like more, what feels more comfortable, what feels better. And now we can't forget that relationship between two people is relationship where a lot of love has to be had, because a lot of sin happens between relationship with two people. Your less sinnest, like the relationship in your life that's gonna hold the least sin is gonna be your relationship with God. Like that one there, like, otherwise your relationship with guys, come on, think about it. We make like jokes about crazy things sometimes, like I know myself, I'm speaking about myself, I make fun of things that stick out to me, and I mean, even though you understand that head, as much as it's humongous, but it's beautifully made in the image of God, so you cannot, I feel like it's just, man, Jesus will understand, man. It's like even him, if he saw the hate, I don't know. I don't want to assume what he would say, but man, that hate, man, those type of things. You just like, it might just be myself trying to justify all this in my head, but hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. But either way, relationships are full of sin, is my point. So, understanding that, okay, in our human nature, we go back to human nature. Remember what I said though. Just because it's our human nature or how we feel we were born doesn't mean we should continue doing it if it is not right. Either way, human nature, we're going to idolize romantic relationships off of the simple fact that we've understood the importance of romantic relationships. So if we understand that this is something we could idolize, not even idolize it in a way that we know, but like even when we don't know, in ignorance or like however way, but understanding that there's a possibility to idolize this, I believe then our stance and our approach, right, should not be to emphasize the growth of this romantic relationship, right? But because God has entrusted you with your partner, then you should impart whatever knowledge or wisdom about the things of the Lord and who the Lord is and this and that on your partner. In doing so, you make sure when I talk, sometimes I just cut off. Don't mind that. But either way, I'm a disability. I'm a disability. I'm a disability. Either way. So when you do that, you ensure that your partner does not fall into this trap of idolizing y'all's relationship kind of thing, right? And instead, they draw their eyes towards the one relationship that's important, which is Christ, right? And the crazy part about doing that is that it, like, with God's things, most of God's things is just like, you can't fathom, you can't understand how this like can be, but it's like it's the same concept of the one who gives his life will receive it, so it's like, once you sacrifice this thing, and I will not focus on the immediate growth and like just focus solely on the growth of my romantic relationship, but I will focus on the Lord, somehow that brings you all closer together. I don't know how, I don't know why, but somehow, maybe it's like the principles of Jesus, obviously, of loving your neighbor as yourself. So once you start loving Jesus that way, you start wanting to follow his rules. And we don't, rules, either way, we'll just leave it at rules. You can interpret it however you want. But listen, you start wanting to follow his rules, live according to his teachings. And I guess that transforms you and the way you think, right? And certain things you never thought you could do, you start realizing you can do, and it just becomes beautiful. It just becomes super beautiful. It's crazy, But the thing is, we're supposed to, that should be the mission, That should be the mission in romantic relationships, I feel like we should start it more, in romantic relationships, because remember that in that, the person is there with love and care. So when you share to them such a beautiful thing about God, Jesus, their salvation, and they actually grasp it like that to that extent, they understand that all the love you have for them or they have for you, vice versa, is nothing compared to the love Jesus has for us.